Hey guys, Wild Willie here, and I'm just about to read a bedtime story. And this story goes out to for those, my colleagues, my friends and family, and other people that don't really want to listen. See, I get all the time from people I work with, I don't watch the news, it's too depressing, or you know what, it's not affecting me directly. If I don't pay attention to it, it'll go away. Well, my little ignorant naysayers, let's talk about some of the things that are going on around the world and maybe a couple ways or why you should prepare for it. Where should we start? Chapter 1, maybe? Yes. Mr. Obama and the CIA boogeyman ISIS. No. Yeah, oh yes. ISIS. The big bad ISIS. The thing that the CIA created and the government created. Yeah, why would they do something like that? Well, let's think about this for a minute, shall we? For those of you that do watch the news a little bit, or maybe read a little excerpt here and there, you may remember late last year, Mr. Obama tried to get into Syria. He wanted to get Assad out of there, something bad. But he couldn't. You know why? Because Assad didn't use the chemical weapons. The rebels he was supporting did. He couldn't get in there. He couldn't get in there at all. But you know why? He had no public support and no international support. He needs to get in there. God knows he needs to save that petrodollar. So what do? You create a monster. You create a monster that looks scary enough that it's going to threaten to beat up the whole world. And there you go. Hands down, he's got all the support he needs. Hell, he's even got some help to fight that monster, that ISIS monster. Why does he need to get into Syria and get rid of Assad? Well, there's a few reasons, but you know who we should ask? Oh wait, we can't ask anymore. I was going to say Saddam Hussein. Didn't he want to trade his oil and something other than the US petrodollar? But where's he now? Shit, I wish I knew, because we can't ask him. See, the US petrodollar, the petrodollar itself, is probably one of the only things keeping the great US debt slash Ponzi scheme from popping. And hell, if there's a country that wants to challenge that, well, they won't be running that country any much longer. I wish there was someone who would stand up to that and show the U.S. for what they were and Barack Obama for what he is. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Putin, how are you, sir? Well, there's one guy that's not afraid to stand up to the U.S. and say, hey, they're not the cat's ass anymore, and this is what they're doing. Maybe he should open his own World Bank. But, oh, you know what? Don't listen to me. You better listen to Western media. Putin's the devil in disguise, and he's out to rule and destroy the world. Look out. Here he comes. What else should we talk? Oh, what about the environment? Just last week, hundreds of thousands of people marched in the street saying we're killing the environment and we should all get carbon taxed. Well, my friends, do I think that mankind has an impact on the environment? Sure it does. That's undeniable. But really, what you tree-hugging ozone rangers should be paying attention to is that big glowing star above our heads during the day. The thing called the sun, that has more of an impact than Johnny Schmo driving around in his 2-gallon car, getting 2 miles of the gallon, or every cow farting at once creating methane combined. The sun is going into a grand minimum. And these weather extremes we're seeing around the world, the more violent, the more regular, the hurricanes, the uptick in earthquakes, all that stuff is all because of our sun, not because aerosol coming out of a can or anything else. So don't try to carbon tax my ass. You people cry and say, you know what? The ice caps are melting. Hello, look it up. The Antarctic ice caps are at record level highs. Are the Arctic? No. Record level lows were in 2012, but they recovered 53% from 2012 in 2 years. Imagine where they're going to be in another 2 years. So pay attention, do a little research before you start blaming me driving my oil chugging car around the city and smoking cigarettes and doing everything else I want to do, or throwing a candy wrapper at the window. Guess what? It's going to happen whether you like it or not. The environment is changing. It goes up and down. It's in cycles, and it has been long before mankind got here. And it's going to continue. So let's just leave it at that, shall we? Now, what's the last thing on the news? Ah, yes, Ebola. 3,000 dead in Africa. Scary shit if you ask me. Wait a minute, what's this? Our first confirmed case in the United States. Now, to my US friends that think the world is just one big lollipop, how many cases of Ebola is it going to take? 1, 2, 10, maybe 50 before you start paying attention to what's going on around you? You have to start planning, and you have to start planning now. I'm not just saying this to the people in the US, because if something happens in the US, be damn sure as shit it's going to happen in Canada. We have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. Start taking precautions now. Learn how to take care of yourself. Learn how to be self-reliant. That's what's going to save you in the end. Not some fairy tale vaccine for Ebola that may or may not be successful. Or not President Obama or not Prime Minister Stephen Harper. There's going to be a day when we're going to wake up one morning and for one reason or another, the shit has already hit the fan. The power might not be on. Might not be any food in the grocery store. Might not be able to leave your house. Who knows? With the frequency of events that are happening around the world and that tyrannical bastard running that country to the south of us, shit is going to hit the fan. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So all I'm saying is, before I close this book, always be prepared, because you never know. Anyways, I'm Wild Willie, and I'm going to go to bed. So have yourself a fantastic night, sweet dreams, and a pleasant tomorrow.